Okay, so when we're looking at physical development in late adulthood, unfortunately, the idea of long time on the earth is beginning to be a little less possible. So, as you can see, they distinguish between life expectancy and lifespan. So, life expectancy is basically what you can expect to live, where lifespan is the upper boundary of the species. So, as you can see, there's a distinct difference between the lifespan of 120 to 125 to estimates for 2030. One of the things that we are seeing a lot more, about 7% per year, is the instance of centurions. These are people who are over 100 years of age. As you can see, a lot of different factors go into your age: activity, spirituality, community caring, low stress lifestyle, and they find the most of the centurions in Okinawa. There's a lot of different biological theories on aging. I personally find them rather depressing, but there are some interesting ones. For example, the genetic cellular process theory, which basically looks at how many times cells can divide, or the evolutionary theory, which is looking at harmful conditions that the older adult might be non-adaptive to. So there's, like I said, different biological theories. I like to look at one that I'll show you soon. The aging brain. So the brain continues to change. It shrinks, it slows. As I said, moving on past early adulthood starts to get slightly depressing. You look at the changes in the brain weight, and that is all about neurons shrinking, the synapses or the connections lowering, the length and complexity of the axons are changing. So lots of different things are happening. One of the things they talk about is, as we mentioned way back in middle childhood, the whole lateralization of the brain, that is something that also decreases. So lots of different things happening with the brain and the spinal cord in late adulthood. However, let's be positive. There is a lot of research on brain adaptation. And what that means is we actually do see some neurons growing. We do see dendrites spreading still. So we often find there is some rewiring to the brain. So lots of different things happening. Here is something that I always like to talk about. I try to be very positive, optimistic. My big words for late adulthood is use it or lose it. Okay, this accounts for our brains and our mental acuity as well as our bodies. So as you can see here, there's some general changes in physical appearance and movement, and that can be basically made more positive by exercise, by good diet, things like that. So as you can see, there's a difference in body composition between a 25-year-old and a 75-year-old. The fat weighs less, so unfortunately that weight loss that you see after 60 is not necessarily a good weight loss, because fat weighs less than muscle and bone, and there is a decrease in bone as well as muscle. Okay. Sensory development also continues to decline. You've got visual acuity, color perception, depth perception, all of those happening, as well as cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration. These are just different diseases of the eye. So all of these things become much more common as you age. I've been talking about obesity forever now, and you can see here is where it really starts to rear its ugly head in terms of issues. So diabetes, arterial sclerosis, all of these are enhanced or created by obesity. So high blood pressure, lots of issues with the cardiovascular system. So staying active, walking, weight-bearing exercise, all of those things are helpful. When it comes to health, you definitely see some chronic conditions increase during age. The older that you are, the higher your probability of having some disease or illness. When you look at the cause of deaths, you can see cardiovascular and cancer is the big things. And you also see some ethnic relationship to that. And one of the other things that's more extensive in women than men, but you definitely do see it in men as well, is osteoporosis. And that goes along with the bone loss that you saw in that one slide. And it's definitely linked to calcium consumption during adulthood, as well as weight-bearing exercise. And